Dr. DK Kamble, can we start?
Sir, please start the sir.
Thank you very much.
Okay, please start it.
Namaste. Good afternoon to all the participants attending this today's webinar. Our webinar topic on the student satisfaction survey, especially the impact of student satisfaction survey on the quality assurance in the higher education institution. This is a very important topic and need of the hour. I think all the higher education institutions are know about the survey of NAAC, about student satisfaction survey. So before starting the exact student satisfaction survey, what NAAC is adopted the methodology. So before to that, just I want to give a brief introduction about the student satisfaction survey and other stakeholders survey. So in introduction, I will cover the world scenario and the students' motivation and encouragement towards the survey. So in exactly our Dr. DK Kamble, assistant advisor, will explain you about the step-by-step procedure of the NAAC, how to conducting the student satisfaction survey. Myself, Dr. K.R. Vishnu Mahesh, assistant advisor, NAAC. Dear participants, you all know about the feedback mechanism in the higher education institution. Without the feedback from the stakeholders, we cannot improve ourselves. Who are all our stakeholders? Especially when I am imagining as a college. I am a college. So in that condition, our stakeholders are students. Students are the main stakeholders of the institution, parents, alumni, alumni also our college students, industries, or neighboring society. So these are all our stakeholders. If our stakeholders are not satisfied with our education system, so then our purpose will not serve. So the stakeholders should be happy with the current education system, especially on your college. So to take that feedback, we have to adopt a certain mechanisms. So using some of the pre-planned questionnaires, we can take a feedback from the students, alumni, parents, industries in a systematic manner so that we can adopt their requirements in the coming semester or coming years. For example, first I will not touch the student satisfaction survey part. See, let me take an example. So your students, after the completion, they are going to do a job in the company or industry or in a government sector. So exactly that stakeholders, what they are
Vishnu,
looking
Dr.
in.
Vishnu,
Sir,
Dr. Vishnu,
sir.
kindly speak nearby the mic.
Okay, sir.
Audience
Okay.
is saying that they are not able to hear.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Okay. Okay, sir. Okay. I think now my voice is audible, sir.
Still more closer to the mic.
One second. Samuel, now my voice is audible.
Very clear, very clear.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Sorry for the technical interruption so during the presentation. So what I'm saying is our stakeholders feedback is very necessary. If that industry or a company or a government institute, the students are coming from the institution, what type of syllabus they're studied, whether that knowledge is useful or not. So if you are giving a knowledge which is the suits the requirement of the industry only, your students will be placed. Otherwise your students will not be placed, because the current trend and what is the recent technology, recent education, whether you are giving or not, so that is most important. So in if every year if you are taking a feedback from the stakeholders like industry or government, so that you can adopt their requirement in your curriculum, so that the students will get more benefited during the education and also after the education to get a good jobs in the. So because of this, what I am saying is the feedback is very important uh, in the education system to improve their quality culture and adopt the quality culture. So coming to the student satisfaction survey. So in previous years, so olden days, the students are not much familiar about the current ongoing trend in the global level. So they are like a, frogs in the well. So what are all the teaching skills they are learning in the education institutes, that is only bigger. So like that, the students are not much aware about the world and the national level or international level scope of the education and other opportunities. So that time, what are we are saying? They are listening. But nowadays, the situation is entirely changed. The students are asking more and more new things in the education system. So they need more perfection from the faculties. They need more good infrastructure in the higher education institution. So because of that, we have to cater the students' needs. So because of that, you have to collect the feedback from the students regularly on the faculties, on the syllabus, on the infrastructure, on other support departments, so that you can improve yourself, you can analyze the student's mind, and you can implement in a action. So because of this, NAC having a wonderful idea to capture the student needs in a systematic manner. Previously, before 2017 July, so in the NAC assessment accreditation, the peer team members are going into the institution. They are interacting with the students, alumni, parents, and they will incorporate in their report. So what happens? I don't know whether it is applicable in all the institution or not. Some institution, the faculty members or the management is forcing the students to give a good feedback on the institution. They are not giving a good thing, but they want you have to say in front of a NAC, our college is doing good. So that time, because of the pressure and influence from the management and the faculty members, are students are not giving their valuable feedback to improve the institution or what they really require. So that time, the purpose of the student satisfaction survey was failed, not in all the cases, but in some of the cases. To overcome this, to give the uniform and a transparent system, the NAC adopted a new system of student satisfaction survey in the revised accreditation framework. First of its kind in the world, we are collecting students' feedback directly. We are sending the links to the student to their email ID. We are collecting the feedback in a form of questionnaires, whether students are satisfied on the faculty, their preparation, their knowledge, whether they are completing the syllabus in time or not, whether the subject is related to you or not, whether the infrastructure is satisfied or not. So like this variety of questionnaires we framed, Around 20 questionnaires we framed in the student satisfaction survey. So that questionnaire is we are collecting directly from the students through the systematic ICT technology. So we are sending the link. The students are logging into the link. So they are giving the questionnaires answers in a objective manner. So around 20 questions are objective type. So we are collecting the uh, questionnaires. We are analyzing, and the descriptive part, it will go to the peer team members. So the students can write their opinion about the college. So detailedly, they can write descriptively. So that part, it will go to the peer team members. So they will read about the student satisfaction and students' opinion and comments. So before entering into the college. So from this, the students are not influenced. So they can freely, free-minded, they can give their input to the NAAC. So it will help NAAC to analyze in a real such manner to give a good grade and score to the institution. So objective type, we make it as a benchmark and scaling. So in that, so 0 to 4 will be there. So based on that, the score will be generated automatically by the system. So our DK Kamble will explain you in detail how the survey will be taken place, how many students will be settling. So survey, how the calculating, what is the score for university, what is the score for college and autonomous. So like that, we will explain in detail in the next presentation. So coming to this descriptive part, our peer team members will analyze and they will give their opinion and comments through the peer team report. So like that, the student satisfaction survey we implemented first time in the world to take the real opinion of the student. So the NAAC assessment accreditation have an endeavor to conduct a student satisfaction survey, that results of which we will encompass the accreditation process. That survey will capture the student response from the list of students provided by the higher education institution. So college is giving who are all means who are all there in the college. That students means the on-roll student details we will collect. So this survey will conducted directly by the NAAC to give an opportunity to the students also to have their say in the assessment and quality improvement process of their institution. And also NAAC will send the online link survey to the email address of the student provided by the HCS. And also student will have to submit the survey in a stipulated time. So we are giving some duration. So within the duration, students should give their opinion. So our another colleague, he will explain you in detail about the mm, timeline of the student satisfaction survey. Dear participants, once again, I want to give my opinion. Today is a competitive world. So the world is demanding a good quality of education. It means good academic environment, knowledge of the teachers, good teaching learning process, research activity, ambient classroom. This one is there. Infrastructure like good library resources and better campus life should be there. So the students are thinking in such a way that so today is the improving the quality of the education and campus life is the major concern of the higher education institution in order to complete the compete with the world's economy and the needs. And also India needs to develop quality manpower with a modern outlook and values. So there is a need of strengthen the Indian higher education system with a strong root, with socio cultural heritage, along with the competitive individuals. So this is my opinion and introduction about the student satisfaction survey. So I request all the faculty members and educational administrator kindly develop an internal mechanism about the student satisfaction survey. So NAAC is one part. During the assessment accreditation process, we are collecting the student satisfaction survey. But so in a regular mode, you have to take a feedback from the students. You have to analyze. you have to frame a committee in your institution. You have to take some members so they will analyze the student mind. So if students are giving curriculum based feedback, just you have to compile it. So you are an autonomous college, you can implement the syllabus your by own. But if you are affiliated college, so that time you can send that students feedback to the university to change the syllabus in the next due course of time. And also, if the infrastructure related feedback is there, just to send it to management. You are a government college means you have to send it to the government. So the government will think about the student needs and they will implement so during the next course of interval. So if the students are giving the feedback on the faculty, you have to take a measure. You have to counsel the faculty members. So why you are doing like this, or what the student is asking from the faculty members. So you can train them, giving a good trainings to the faculty member, so that you can give idea about the student needs. So thank you very much for patience listening. This is just an introduction note about the student satisfaction survey, because it is impacting the quality assurance in the higher education institution. I request our young and eminent colleague Dr. D.K. Kamble, assistant advisor, to give the detailed note about the student satisfaction survey about NAAC perspective. Thank you, Ananda. So I will join in the question and answer session. So any question is there, we can discuss in the question and answer. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Vishnu Mahesh, given wonderful introductory remarks about student satisfaction survey and how to improve the quality in higher education. So now my presentation is purely on student satisfaction survey and how improving the quality in higher education. See, because student satisfaction survey is very important and student rule is very important in the higher education system nowadays, because today's competitive world demands a good quality of the education. In society, it's very important that good quality of education, and it means a good academic environment, knowledgeable teachers, good teaching learning process, research activities also very important, and ambient classrooms and infrastructure like good library resource and better campus life is very much demandable issue in the higher education system nowadays. So today improving the quality of the education and campus life is the major concern of the higher education institutions in order to compete with the world economy. India needs to develop a quality manpower with a modern outlook and our values. There is a need to strengthen the Indian education system with strong roots, with socio-culture heritage, along with the quantitative individuals. Because and most of the students and parents are focusing on the institution. Stakeholders direct focus on the institution, what is the input in the institution and what is the real process in the institution and what is the outcome. These are the three main aspects is very important in the institution. So main input in the institution. So students are the very backbone of the institutions. That is the input, student, curricula, faculty staff is very important. That is good quality teaching faculty is required. Non-teaching staff, facilities and infrastructure and teaching resource. So this is very important inputs in the institution, because after this, what is the process? Because all the stakeholders are focusing on the process. What is the process in the institution? Teaching and learning is very important. Next to that, staff development, student support and evaluation. Research is very important in this higher education system and administration. So after these two, input is okay, process is also okay, then what is the main output? Because it is the main task, and most of the parents and students, they are focusing on the output of the institution. So first one, skilled and employable graduates. They will come out a good quality is with skilled and employable students. Research publication and output, it is very important from the teaching and contribution to the community. So these are the main focus on the institution by stakeholders. So coming to real student satisfaction survey, because as you know that NAAC has come out in this revised accreditation framework, there is a one system, and that in criteria in 2.7 in metric 2.7.1, it shows the student satisfaction survey. So it is purely based on the criteria 2, that is related to teaching, learning and evaluation process. For student satisfaction survey, for affiliated and constant college, 60 weightages are there, and for autonomous colleges, 50 weightages is there, and for university level, 30 weightages is there for particularly on online student satisfaction survey. So in this, what is the real process for the online satisfaction survey? So data of the students for student satisfaction survey has to be submitted concurrently during submission of SSR self-study report. During submission of self-study report in the criteria second, in the metric 2.7.1, that option it will come, and there is one format which will provide by NAAC. In that format only, the institution has to give a student details for online student satisfaction survey. And before filling the student details, so institutions are ensure that all the email address and mobile numbers, it should be functional with correct spelling, and at least 50% data is required for student satisfaction survey. See how many total admitted student in the institution. So out of the admitted student, in that 50% student details is required for online student satisfaction survey, so which was implemented from since 2017 onwards in this new revised accreditation framework. So then what is the process of student satisfaction survey? Because this process, it shows the quality culture in the institution from the students. So that's why NAAC has taken initiative this survey. After submission of successfully self-study report to the NAAC, parallelly there will be two processes. One student satisfaction survey and one more, that is DVV. So coming to triple S related issues only here. So institutions get email for student survey initiative. So once the institution submitted a self-study report to the NAAC, based on the given data in the 2.7, the NAAC only send the questionnaire. There are 21 questions are there. Their next slide I will discuss with you, that all questions will send to the students for online survey. So the in online survey means it may go their email ID or it may go their phone number, mobile number. And out of that, as per the NAAC norms, so NAAC need minimum 10% of the response, 10% of the total students response is required to successfully completed for online student satisfaction survey, or minimum 100 students response is required. This 10% of the total student or 100 minimum student, it is applicable only for the affiliated colleges and constant colleges. Then for university level, minimum 10% of the total student response is required, or minimum 500 students response is required for the successfully submission of the survey. So in that survey, there is our guidelines for student satisfaction survey. What is the guidelines? Because higher education institutions have to strictly upload data of all the currently enrolled students. In the data, whatever institutions they are giving to the student details to the NAAC, that on-roll student data is required. Means present student data is required for the online survey, and the data will be accepted in text format only, and that format is providing NAAC only during the submission stage of online self-study report. And there are several columns in that format, that all columns names and order should not be altered. No columns and no cells should be left blank in the given format. Example, repetition of the name or email address or mobile number is not allowed in that given format. And there are two separate columns for the student ID and student enrollment ID in the format. So in the options of separate IDs, the institution, they can repeat same ID in the two columns, not a issue. And total entries should not be greater than the students marked in the IIQA. During applying IIQA, whatever data you have given in the IIQA, it should not cross that IIQA data in the student details. Then coming to student satisfaction survey will administered to institutions simultaneously with DVV. Okay, the triple S questionnaires As you know that all questions are available in our NAAC website, that all 21 questions are there. Out of 21 questions, 20 questions are purely objective, and 21st, that is last question, it is purely subjective. The students, they may give a suggestion or any recommendation to the institution for improvement of quality education in the institutions, and that all questions are available in our NAAC website. So here again, there is my I would like to suggest regarding this triple S question. There are 21 questions in the English, which is available in NAAC format. If you need you in your regional language, you can translate it and give to the student, motivate the student, encourage the students, and you give the guidance how to give the answer for these questions. And maximum of 2 survey attempts will be initiated to reach the desired level of response. So after successfully submitted of SSR, NAAC will take 2 initiative of survey. First, 30% survey will be taken by NAAC, means out of admitted student, out of given data, in that data, 30% student will reach the survey. If that survey will reach minimum desired level in first initial survey, then successfully stable S survey will be completed. If survey will not reach minimum desired level, then again remaining all students, the NAAC will send the survey, means that link to the student for online survey. Then survey will complete within 30 days. Maximum 30 days, the student satisfaction survey will be complete. As soon as survey is initiated by NAAC, the coordinator of NAAC, it has been to completed within 10 days. The institute can encourage students to participate in the survey and guide them about survey to make the student satisfaction survey possible within given stipulated time, that is maximum 10 days. And questionnaire is, if the questionnaires are the English, NAAC website will have both English and Hindi version available. If needed, HI can make local language translation available for information of students before they take the survey. Means for understanding of the students, the institution, they can translate in their regional language, means student they can easily understand and they are ready for giving the survey. Then coming to student satisfaction survey, there especially there is one guidelines for student satisfaction survey, and this guidelines, it is also available in our NAAC website. So what is the context of this survey? Because as you know that NAAC has implemented revised accreditation framework in 2017 onwards, and NAAC has endeavored to conduct student experience survey, the results of which will go into the accreditation process. And that survey will capture student responses through the list of students provided by the higher education institutions. And that entire students will be remain anonymous throughout the survey, which will conducted by NAAC, that is online student satisfaction survey. The institution is supposed to send a list of the total students, their strength, with details of their student ID number, other ID number, any other valid numbers. In the absence of other degree programs, email ID and mobile numbers are required, and for whatever given mobile number and email ID, NAAC will send a online link to the survey to their email ID or mobile number of the students, and the students will have to fill the survey before a stipulated time. In the given link, there are 21 questions. The students, they have to give the answer, they have to reply the answer within 10 days for all the questions. Then coming to questionnaire, there are, what I told that there are 21 questions, and all questions will be based on the Likert type scale. That means the response are scaled on a 0 to 4, with most positive response being rated as a 4 and most negative response being rated as a 0. This is a 5-point scale score from 0 to 1, 2, 3, 4. And the score that emerging out of the survey is part of the second criteria, and it is purely that all questions, it is related to criteria 2, that is teaching, learning and evaluation process. Out of the 7 NAAC criteria, that second criteria is very, very important, which is applicable for student satisfaction survey. And that all questionnaire consists of several facets of the questions. In that, some of the questions are there which they're directly related to teaching learning process. Questions vary from specific teaching skills of the teacher to his oral approach to the educational process, specific skills of the teacher like subject knowledge of the teacher, communication skill of the teacher, class preparation of the teacher, and use of ICT tools are the part of the questionnaire. And there are some of other questions are there which the oral approach of the teacher and institutions with respect to providing the right environment, motivation, interpersonal relationship, and feedback, etc. These are the some of the forms, the second major component of the questionnaire. So 20 of the 21 questions are objective in nature, while one question is open-ended to elicit observation and suggestions for improvements, providing an opportunity to the students. So students, they can give any suggestions or any recommendations or any observations and or any criticism in their own word. That is applicable to last one question, 21st question. And analysis of that survey would be done using software only, which will aggregate the responses and generate the score. The score will range from a minimum of 0 to maximum 4 on 5-point scale. And that score, it would affect the overall score of criteria second on teaching, learning, and evaluation. And that the responses to the open-ended questions would also be aggregated to find out the most common suggestions and criticisms emerging out of the survey. And what is the process? The survey analysis score will be used as a key component of accreditation. A predetermined weightage is also assigned to this key indicator in this accreditation framework. A stratified random sample of the students will be chosen for the survey. Here, whatever the institution has given the student details to the NAAC, whatever they given student details in the SSR. So out of that, so system only randomly selection student for the online student satisfaction survey. So out of that, the response rate is required minimum 10%. If the response rate is below 10%, will not be considered. In sample, the students will be spread evenly across different classes, year of enrollment, and gender as far as possible. The institutions are required to submit data of all the students, means class-wise with name and mobile numbers, and other of the that student details. The institutions, teachers should not by any way try to influence the students. The institution, they should not influence the student for the online survey. They should motivate the student. They may encourage the student for the survey, but they should not influence the student for the online survey. And this will ensure genuine feedback for the institution to improve the quality culture in the education system. Then analysis of the questionnaire. How the questionnaires will be analyzed. There are 21 objective questions in questionnaire, and one is the open-ended question. That is last one. That all questions analysis will be done by the software only. There are 20 objective questions, and students will respond on the scale of 4 to 0, with the most positive response rated as a 4 and most negative response rated as a 0. It means the score for each question will be calculated, and the overall mean will be arrived at. This figure will be range from 0 to 4 and will give the mean satisfaction level of the students for the particular institution. This figure in the range of 4 to 0 will be the score of key indicator, that is student satisfaction survey 2.7.1, which is coming under in the criteria second, which is the part of criteria 2, that is on teaching, learning, and evaluation process. Then coming to how the analysis of open question ended. The students are asked to give 3 observations or 3 suggestions to improve the overall teaching learning experience in the institution. That analysis would be carried out by aggregating the most occurring suggestions uh, in the students' responses. And this would be provide an idea of the most general expectations, observations, and suggestions from the students. And this is one of the one opportunity to the students to give their any suggestions or observations in the institution. This information can be provided to peer team conducting on-site visit to be used for validation as well as peer team report preparation. And it's very helpful for to the peer team members also what is the opinion of the students in the institution. Again, based on this information also, they will discuss during on-site peer team visit with students. Coming to questionnaire, as you know that already all questions are there, and most of the college people they are using these questions. But here again, I can repeat some of the important questions. So here there are 21 questions. So first, this is a basic information. Please confirm this is the first time or and only time you answer the survey. If it is the first time, you can yes, otherwise no. Age, college name, gender, and that is a program and which program you are subjecting, that is the detail. Then coming to instruction to fill the questionnaire, that instruction is very important because all questions should be compulsory attempted out of 21 questions. Then each question has 5 responses. Choose the most appropriate one. As I told that 5 responses means 5-point scale, 0 to 5, 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. The response to the qualitative questions number 21 is student opportunity. This is one of the it is one of the golden opportunity to the student to give their suggestions or improvements. He or she can also mention weaknesses of the institution. Kindly restrict your response to teaching learning process only. So these are the 21 questions here. Just I am highlighting example, how much of the syllabus was covered in the classroom. Nowadays, throughout the India, all universities having a semester system. By each semester or yearly, how much syllabus completed in the classroom by the teacher. So the students, they make a give the response below 30 or 30 to 54, 55 to 69, 70 to 84, and 85 to 100. Like this, there is an option of above all 21 questions. Next question, like how well did the teachers prepare for the classes? Thoroughly or satisfaction, or it is very poorly, indifferently, won't teach at all time. So these are the different questions are there which is related to directly teaching and learning. How well they were the teachers able to communicate? Always effective, sometime effective, or just satisfactory, or very poor? Fourth question, the teacher's approaches to teaching can best be described as, oh, if it is excellent, you can write it excellent. Otherwise, very good, good, fair, and poor. So these are the questions are there. Then teacher inform you about your expected competencies. Like there is also option like this. Mentors, your mentor does the necessary follow-up with a assigned task to you every time, usually. Regarding this, just I wanted to share regarding mentor mentee also, there is one metric in the SSR, because institutions they have to give as per the faculty wise, one faculty how much student allocated by the principal, that is the mentor mentee list. As per the mentor mentee list, whether the teachers are doing proper work or not, based on that the students also they can give the feedback about mentor mentee. Teacher illustrate the concept through examples and applications. So like for that also every time, usually, sometime, never. So like this, there are 21 questions are there, that all 21 questions are available in our website. Kindly take it and kindly give the guidance, motivate the students for giving the response about student satisfaction survey. Here one more question is very important, that is what percentage of teachers use ICT tools such as LCT, projector, multimedia, etc. Because nowadays this is very important task to the teacher, because this is in this present COVID-19 situation, most of the higher education institutions they are taking online classes. Not only online classes nowadays, but regularly also, whether they are using ICT tools or other any project, multimedia like this. For that also, the students has to give the response. Then overall quality of teaching learning process in your institution is very good. Strongly agree, normal, disagree, all these. Based on this given response only, the system only analyze the score of student satisfaction survey based on their response of the 21 questions. So this is one example which I wanted to share with you. Feedback form from the student, because all institution, they are also taking feedback from students. There are two types of the feedbacks in the SSR. One, it is from the syllabus, that is related to curriculum, and one feedback, it is related on the institutions. So most of the institutions, they are collecting only feedback from student, teacher, alumni, parents, and most of the institutions, they are not able to analyze the feedback. So you have to collect the feedback. The institution, they have to analyze the feedback. They should take the action taken report. Then that action taken report, it should be available in their website for the student purpose and parents or stakeholder purpose. So this is one example feedback for here. Knowledge base of the teacher. For that, the students may tick whether very good, satisfactory, or unsatisfactory. Communication skill of the teachers, sincerity, integrity, and ability integrated course. All these, there are a 10 model feedback questions are here, which I mentioned here. So you can take as a example of these feedback and give it to the students for feedback of the students. Then coming to student participation in quality enhancement. This is also very important part, because student participation is very, very important in the higher education system for improving the quality education in the society. Because India has the second largest educational system in the world. A focus on quality, access, and relevance of higher education to achieve the required social transformation for sustainable economic development of the country has been the national priority, and this is very, very important task to higher education institutions. Because qualitative improvement in higher education to realize the desired dimensions of human resource development necessitated the establishment of the premier quality assurance agency by NAAC, that was introduced by the UGC in 1994 to assess and accredit the country's higher education institutions. Quality assurance is not an event. It is a continuous process and a relentless pursuit to achieve the academic excellence in the higher education system. It is an ongoing, dynamic, and lifelong endeavor of any institution, as the primary goal of institutional accreditation by NAAC is to provide the information needed to improve the experience of the communities. It is envisaged that NAAC plays a larger role in internationalizing and institutionalizing quality assurance towards achieving this goal. While the participation of all the stakeholders is very, very essential, the involvement process is crucial and invaluable because of the following some of the institution points here. See, in the quality culture of education, student part is very important. Student role is very, very important, because students are the largest group within any higher education institution, and therefore are the main stakeholders who have a much stronger voice than other stakeholders. So student power is very, very important. So that's why there is a one quote: student power is a nation power. So students are quite well informed, committed, participative, motivated, and curious, and this provides for valuable contributions. The several dimensions of student participation often surpass the four walls of the institution to open up to the society. Of late, world over, there is a wide and positive attitude towards increase the students' influence in higher education system. Governance, including the role of students' activism in social change, because student role is very, very important to activism in social change nowadays. Students could therefore be the driving force behind ambitious and far-reaching higher education reforms. See, coming to student charter. Every stakeholder of the higher education has a role to play in quality enhancement and sustenance. The stakeholders such as the government, management, teachers, students, and the external quality assurance agencies also have an important role in ensuring the quality of higher education. The National Assessment and Accreditation Council, NAAC, strives to play a catalytic role in generalizing the stakeholders' efforts. Of all the stakeholders mentioned above, the students have a unique role to play in ensuring quality of higher education institutions. Firstly, the students should realize that they have the right for quality education, and it is the responsibility of the higher education to provide quality educational experience to the learners. Secondly, the students should equally be aware of their responsibilities, which in turn will help the institutions to provide quality education. This means that the students should demand quality education and demonstrate their commitment to quality education by accepting their responsibilities in the institution. Otherwise, the institutions will have very little motivation for quality enhancement. An initiation has been made by the NAAC in this direction by developing a sample student charter for all higher educational institutions. It is hoped that the charter will help educational institutions to articulate their obligations to learners in clear terms and can be used as a benchmark for the institution's accountability to learners. So the NAAC advocates the public display of student charter in every institution as an act of promotion of student participation in quality assurance. So coming to after this student charter, coming to the main task about related to students' attitudes. Students' responsibilities towards students. See, communicate its goal. Institutions' responsibility is very, very important towards students. For that, the institution has to take a good steps for communicate its goals and objectives systematically and clearly to all the students. Students must know the institutional main goals and objectives. Students must know the offer the programs that are consistent with its goal and objectives. Offer a wide range of programs with adequate academic and flexibility. Obtain feedback from students on their initiation, review and redesign of programs if and when it is necessary. Facilitate effective running of the teaching learning programs to the student. Implement a well-conceived plan for monitoring student progress continuously in the institution. So institutions are ensure that the student assessment mechanism is reliable and valid. And institutions should provide clear information to the students about admission and completion requirements for all the programs. The institution has to give the information about fee structure and the refund policies are there because there are so many policies are there also by central government, state government. That information it should be reached to the students. that refund policies or financial aid and student support services. So institutions are ensure that the sufficient and well run support services to the students in the campus. Promote healthy practice in the institution. The institutions should provide career counseling and placement guidance, because that career counseling and placement guidance is also very, very important. Nowadays, it is very essential to the students, because the institutions in the SSR also, there is one metric regarding the placement. So institutions are giving simply data year was placed student details, but most of the institutions, they are not providing proof of that placement student details. So where the students are getting placed, kindly take a proof of that copies, whether it may be offer letter or appointment letter, or whether maybe it may be in ID of that organization. So an institutions has to help to the students regarding career counseling and placement guidance, and to help the students interact with companies by arranging for campus placement drives. So institution has to open one separate cell for placement cell, and kindly appoint one a senior faculty for that placement cell, and it should be functioning every year regularly. The institution should provide or to aspire and motivate to the students to get a good job profile and bright career future, to increase students confidence level and knowledge, to acquaint themselves with best job opportunities in the society. So then coming to student responsibility. Now institutional responsibilities I presented. Then coming to student responsibility is also very, very important. Not only institutional responsibility, apart from institutional responsibility, student responsibility is also very, very important for learning. See here, the students, they should appreciate the institutional goal and objective, and they contribute to the realization of the same by participating in the relevant institutional activity. They should appreciate whatever they provided in the institutions. The students should have a clear knowledge of the programs, admissions policies, rules and regulations of the institution, because in the higher education student, they they are the mature student, they must also know a clear knowledge about the programs, what is the admission procedure, what is the policies, what is the rules and regulations in the institution. And students should also follow the time schedules, timetable, institutional time, rules and regulations in the institution or in the campus. And students should undertake regular and intense study of learning materials, and make optimum use of the learning resources and other support services which is available in the institution. It may be in the department or it may be in the main library. So and students also to prepare for continuous internal assessment and term end examinations also, and give the feedback for system improvement, because every year the institution, they are taking the feedback from the student. So during feedback, the students, they should give a systematic improvement about the institutions, and students should have a faith and ability to pursue lifelong learning, live as a worthy alumni of the institution. Regarding alumni also, in the SSR, there's a separate matrix. And I'm suggesting to institutions that so kindly conduct alumni meeting yearly at least 2 times in the beginning and ending of the year. Because alumni also, they knows the institution, they are calling us, they are conducting meeting, they are motivating to us, means there is a good environment in the institution. For that purpose, the institution, they should maintain a record of that alumni. Then suggested areas for interaction with the students during peer team on-site visit. So during the NAAC peer team visit in the institution, So as per the program study, the NAAC peer team committee, they will visit the departments and they will conduct the teaching, non-teaching, and alumni and student meeting also. So during student interaction, the peer team will also, they will discuss some points related to institution in during on-site visit. What are those discussion points? Here I can give some of the examples. So they may ask to the students what reason for choosing the course, this course, or what reason you choose this institution. Match between curriculum and expectations, flexibility, choice, and content. Appropriateness of the curricular content to the development of knowledge and skill. Relevance to prospective career, further study, students' timetable and workload. They may ask all these: what is the timetable, what is the workload, what is the teaching methods are there, whether they are giving effective teaching or not, all related to the curriculum also they may discuss during on-site visit with student interaction time. And opportunities for practical and vocational experience where appropriate it is there or not. Range of teaching and learning methods experienced. Students' view on quality of teaching, whether the in the institution guidance and support for independent study is there or not. Students' understanding of assessment methods and criteria. Feedback on assessed work. Access to computer center. Whether health service is there or not. Whether sports facility it is there or not. And physical education, whether the hostels are there or not in the institution. For ladies, there is separate hostel. For boys, there is separate hostel is required. And whether there are canteen facilities there or not in the institution. Whether for the grievance, whether there is a grievance cell, it is there or not. If it is there, whether it is functioning or not. Whether the grievance cell committee is there or not. Whether they are receiving complaints from the students or not. After receiving complaint, whether they are resolving the problem or not. What is the mechanism related to grievance cell? Regarding that matter also, they will discuss in the student interaction time. Financial aid, academic and personal counseling also, they will discuss. All these points they will discuss during on-site visit with interaction of the students. So with this brief detailed information regarding student satisfaction survey and to improve the quality culture in the higher education institution, here I conclude my presentation regarding this, and I request my colleague Dr. Vishnu Mahesh, and from ICT side Samuel sir is also there. Now session is open for question answer. Now we'll discuss the question answers. Thank you, one and all.
Nice presentation, Kamleji. We
Thank
can
you.
take questions from the participants. Dear participants, if you have any query related to the student satisfaction survey, so kindly you can post your query through chat, or also you can raise your hand virtually so that we will unmute you to ask the question. Samuel sir, we can unmute Tarun Bandopadhyay.
Presentation.
Yes,
Hello. Am I audible?
yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yes. So thank you very much, Dr. Kamble, for a very nice presentation.
Thank you, sir.
I have a simple question regarding submission of student data, whether it is a compulsion to the college to provide the total enrolled students or it is 60% of students. That is not clear to me.
See, sir, whatever students admitted in the institution, out of total admitted student, as per the NAAC guidelines, only the institution they can give minimum 50% of total admitted student.
Okay, that is to be submitted. Minimum.
That is to submitted in criteria 2.7.1.
Yes, and
Example, example in your institution, if the students admitted 500, as per NAAC guidelines, minimum 250 student details is required for online student satisfaction survey.
No, when NAAC is sending the questionnaire, whether it is sending to all enrolled students or the
Yeah, whatever data you submitted to the NAAC in the SSR, based
Yes.
on that, NAAC will send first initial survey 30%. That is a randomly selection student.
Okay.
Ah,
Okay. That is out of total enrolled students, what we
Yeah.
have mentioned in the SSR,
yeah.
out of those students, 30% students will be selected.
Yeah, first initial survey 30% randomly selection. If within that 30%, if the minimum response as per NAAC norms need 10% of the response or minimum 100 students, if it is college, if it will reach minimum desired level within that 30% students, then it will be close the survey. If minimum desired will not reach in that 30% survey, again remaining student will send a link.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
I request the participants to raise their hand if they have any questions. Dr. Kamble, sir?
Madam, if any questions, we are ready to answer.
Madam, one more
Shobha Devi.
participant raised the hand. Yasen Shobha, I think.
Madam, namaste.
Yes, Dr.
Please, you can
Shobha,
ask your question.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you so much. It was very wonderful presentation. Hello.
Please, madam, please, you can
Yes,
ask
I'm
your
audible.
question.
Actually, we have tried to collect the feedback on curriculum by all the stakeholders. Out of that, the feedback from employers is very, very, very difficult to get the information, sir. Actually, they are hesitant to give feedback on curriculum. They say that wherever our students are working, those authorities are not willing to give the feedback. So in this context, how to manage this, sir? Otherwise, we will get less mark, isn't it, sir? For that question.
Madam, I will clearly explain this. Madam,
Okay.
NAAC student satisfaction survey, what the Dr. D.K. Kamble explained, here
Right.
the stakeholders feedback will not come. Means that industry or company,
Okay.
who are all.
Yeah.
But another one metric is there in the SSR.
Right.
The students feedback, the feedback collected by the institution, students, alumni, parents, and other stakeholders. Means other stakeholders means company will come. So
Okay.
for that, there is a 4 choices will be there. If one choice you are not giving means, so you will get the 75% of the score. Student, parent, alumni, if already you provided means, you will get a 75% of that metric weightage. So 25% you will lose. So based on the curriculum. See, my suggestion to you is,
Yes.
see, 1 or 2 companies, they will reject to give the curriculum. But
Okay.
you have to clearly explain them, sir, if you are giving the feedback on the curriculum, so we will compile that feedback and we will recommend to the university to
Okay.
inculcate the feedback whatever you are given, if it is appropriate. So in the next revision of the syllabus, the university will implement, sir. So from that, students will also learn the new things and what is your requirement. So that it will be help for improvement of the institution. So like that, you have to motivate them. You have to clearly explain them. Madam, nowadays we are observing various SSRs. The 99% of the SSRs, so the feedback are collecting from the companies and industries. So I think more probably in the rural area and semi-urban area, so you are facing some small problem with regard to this. So you can approach any government agencies or any bank or any other sector. So your students are going to job. So you can ask the feedback. You can give the form in a hard copy. You can collect it in a simple way. You can scan it and you can upload it. So definitely
Okay.
it will work. Kindly try one time, madam.
Sir, there is one more clarification, sir. So
Please.
feedback from employers means what we thought they are the one where our students are actually working. So if it is a general employers, can we collect feedback on curriculum from if our students are not at all working in that company?
Yes, you can collect, madam. You
Oh,
can collect.
okay.
You
Okay.
can collect.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Another one, madam, is there, Shailaja. Kindly unmute Pragati. We can take question from madam.
Yes, sir. They have sent a question in Q&A.
Q&A, na? 1 second. Yes, Shailaja Modem. Sir, during your presentation, I have noted that as a result of placement, NAAC would ask for evidence of placement from the industry or organization which hired them. It happens that sometimes all students hired in the college through college placement cell. Shailaja madam, actually today we are only focusing on the student satisfaction survey. But okay, not an issue. So you're asking about the proof of the placement. See, madam, one metric will come how many students are placed during that academic year. For this, we need the offer letter from the company or an industry. So that scanned copy we need for as a proof. See, for example, the student is only searched the job and is taken an offer. So that offer letter we will not consider. Through the placement drive from your institution or pool campus interview, which is motivated by the college. So that type of placements only we will consider. So for that, you have to provide the offer letter from the company. I think my question is satisfied to Shailaja madam. May not join the company, that's another situation you may consider. Okay, so madam having the second question, if that person is not joined the company, that's another situation may consider. Actually, I am not getting the question. The question is not clear. Madam, we are ready to unmute you. You can ask the question orally. Madam Pushalakshmi.
Yeah, sure. Right. Hello, good afternoon, sir.
Madam, namaste, madam. Namaste. Good afternoon, madam.
Namaste.
Please, madam, you can
Yeah,
ask the
right. So yeah, it was interesting presentation. We did get complete details with respect to DVB also in terms of triple S. But during the presentation, since you have referred to that example of placement offer, I was only just looking at that situation. Many times through college placement cell only, quite many students are given offers. But many later on, some students revise their opinion. They either go ahead for further higher education, or sometimes they may move to another job as well. So in that context, obviously, college has done its due process. Okay.
Correct.
But then student has chosen not to join. So how do you look at this situation, sir?
Madam, I will tell very clearly. If the students joined a higher education, so that is a separate metric is there. How many students are went to higher education? So you can directly that students in a higher education not show in a placement. I think it's clear.
Yes. Right.
So coming to the placement, so madam, we are asking the offer letter. We are not asking the from the company or the student is joined or not.
Sir, Vishnumayi, sir, sorry to interrupt. Your voice is breaking, sir.
Oh, sorry. Due to some technical problem, I think poor network issue. Madam, I think
Sorry to interrupt. Your voice is not audible. Dr. Vishnu Mahesh,
Vishnu,
sir.
Vishnu Mahesh, your voice is breaking. Vishnu,
Audible?
now it,
Now it is
no,
audible?
not clear. Yeah. Please go ahead. Continue.
Yes, madam. Offer letter is sufficient to show it to that particular metric. If the student is not joined with the problem of right, but as a college, you participate, you can show it
Okay.
a document for the
Okay.
particular.
Okay. Sufficient. Vishalakshmi madam?
Yes, sir. I'm not able to see any hand raised.
Yeah, that's why I'm also asking. If is there any question, we'll take it. Otherwise, we'll see 1 or 2 minutes or we'll wind up the session.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Ramdev. Thank you for the wonderful presentation. I thank ICT department providing technical support to complete the successfully. Again, I
Sir,
thank
Dr.
all
Vishnu
the
Mahesh, sir, your
participants
voice is
who
not
were,
audible, sir.
Yeah.
this channel.
Okay. I will do it because your voice is not clear. So, coming to end of the session, I sincerely thank all the participants, panelists, and our ICT team on behalf of NAAC and on behalf of director, sir. Once again, I thank you one and all. Now, our session will be closed. Vishalakshmi madam?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Close the session.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay.